Investigative TV series and courtroom thrillers have remained hugely popular for decades in Hollywood. Today we're going to dissect one of the most influential investigative films of all time, JFK, and show how it uses a deep character web to create a one-of-a-kind investigative political thriller, and how you can do the same in your screenplay. And if you're struggling to write your great screenplay, click below to get direct one-on-one help on your script. In a standard story about an investigation, there's a simple protagonist versus antagonist conflict at play. There's the detective hell-bent on uncovering clues, and the antagonists who thwart their investigation and evade them. You see this in cable TV shows like Law & Order, anything with the acronym CSI, and in movies like Angels and Demons, Tango and Cash, or The Spirit. As entertaining as those shows and movies can be, they tend not to leave a lasting impression on the viewer. Maybe there's a surprise twist as to who the true bad guy is, but at the end, when the mystery is revealed, you go about your day without giving what you just watched another thought. The reason for this is that all of the characters on either side of the conflict tend to have the same core belief about the main conflict of the story. On the side of those investigating, the shared belief is the criminals must be brought to justice. On the side of the criminals, the belief is the investigators must not uncover our tracks. The conflict usually doesn't go much deeper than that. Now think about how you felt after watching All the President's Men, Zodiac, Gone Girl, JFK, or a show like True Detective. You may recall thinking about those stories long after you finished watching them. They seem to be saying something much deeper about not just the conflict at the heart of the story, but about society at large. So what did these stories do that elevated them from the rest? There are several elements, but today we're going to explore just one of the key pillars that elevates these stories, and that is a deep character web. Specifically, how using a character web, or as John Truby coined it, four-corner opposition, can help define your characters so they stand out from each other, raise the stakes of the story, imbue uncertainty to keep the viewer on the edge of their seat, and leave the viewer thinking about your story long after it's over. JFK by Oliver Stone explores the assassination of President John F. Kennedy and the investigation into the mystery behind it. Our protagonist, Jim Garrison, is skeptical of the Warren Commission's report on the assassination, which concludes that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in the killing of the president. Garrison believes that there's more to the story than what the Commission's report suggests, and that there may have been a larger conspiracy at play involving high-ranking government officials. Let's imagine this film took the basic cable approach of two beliefs, one for each side of the conflict. Garrison and his crack team of investigators work together with the common aim of holding the powerful people behind JFK's murder accountable. They all hold the same belief that those in power need to be held accountable for their actions. They uncover clues that point to the government colluding in the cover-up behind the assassination. And while in the end they don't succeed in convicting any of the parties involved, it conveys to the viewer that those who control society aren't always honest actors. While this would leave the viewer skeptical of those in power, it wouldn't go much deeper than that. And since the characters all hold the same core belief about the story's central conflict, they would all blend together. Now let's see how the film actually approaches its characters' beliefs. Here's how the character web for JFK looks. On the side of the investigators, Jim Garrison, Lou Ivan, and X believe that uncovering the truth is righteous as it creates accountability. They see the pursuit of justice as a moral imperative and believe the public has the right to know the truth, even if it means going against powerful government agencies. One of Garrison's aides, Bill Broussard, and his wife Liz believe that uncovering the truth can be dangerous and cause instability. They recognize that the truth about JFK's assassination could be destabilizing and could shake people's faith in the government and its institutions. They believe that Garrison's investigation is reckless and could have serious consequences for national security and for his family. On the side of those who want to keep the story covered up, many journalists, FBI agents, judges, and government officials believe it is irresponsible to go against the mainstream narrative as it creates distrust in our institutions. They argue that Garrison's investigation undermines the credibility of the government and the media. They believe that it's important for the public to trust the official narrative and that any dissent should be suppressed for the sake of the security of the nation. Clay Shaw, Guy Bannister, and several other alleged conspirators believe it is necessary to kill to get what they want. They are willing to use violence to achieve their political goals and see JFK as an obstacle to their plans. They believe that the ends justify the means and are willing to do whatever it takes to maintain their power. By more specifically defining each character's belief about the core issue of the story, the viewer can differentiate between who each character is at their core. Jim Garrison is determined to find the truth, although sometimes recklessly so. His wife Liz cares about doing what's right, but not at the cost of her family. Journalists and the FBI aren't necessarily the arbiters of truth, but rather stability. Clay Shaw and Guy Bannister will do whatever is necessary to achieve their aim. By more specifically defining each character's beliefs, the film also raises the stakes as Jim and his wife's differing beliefs creates a rift between them, as she becomes increasingly frustrated with his obsession with the case at the expense of their family's safety. It's no longer a matter of bringing wrongdoers to justice, but doing so in a way that won't tear the protagonist's family apart. Creating defined beliefs about the core conflict creates what all stories about an investigation aspire to: uncertainty. Because Jim Garrison's allies don't all hold the same belief about the core conflict, they challenge his beliefs, therefore making not only him, but the viewer question if his investigation will prove successful and if it's even worth pursuing at all. If your protagonist's beliefs aren't challenged by anyone other than their primary antagonist, the viewer's beliefs aren't challenged either. Therefore, there won't be anything for them to ponder after the telling of the story is over. Garrison's beliefs are challenged not just by the key antagonists, but by his allies, therefore leaving the viewer to question what position they would take. While there are other elements that embed the story in a viewer's mind long after the telling, using a character web can be an incredibly useful tool to build the foundation of your story so it can have a lasting impact on the viewer. By using a character web, the story defines the beliefs of each character, making them stand out from each other, raising the stakes, imbuing uncertainty, and leaving the viewer thinking about the story long after it ends. By more specifically defining each character's belief, the viewer can differentiate between who each character is at their core, making for a more engaging and thought-provoking viewing experience. And if you're struggling to write your great screenplay, click the link below to get direct one-on-one help from Top Development. This video was written by Ricky Ackerley, a member of the Top Development team.